When you got someone who loves you that much, it doesn't matter what you're going to do, be right there, be right there, and fight you with you. But that's love. He's not the one that's going to walk away. He's not the one that's going to turn his back. He's not the one that's going to look the other way. Because love don't let you look the other way. Love lets you jump into a fire. Love will not let you walk into your brother's side. Love won't do that. Love will be right there with you at that point. That's what love is all about. It's not just a one-day thing. Love is an everyday thing. You can show appreciation, but love is an everyday thing. But it's nice to love to really love somebody. That's a really nice thing. And I can imagine everything that Jesus went through. That's all you can think about is his father's business, his father's command. He was about his father's business, which is to prove that we can love. He never left no one behind. No matter what. He never left anybody behind. If you hunger, he feeds you. That's love. That's what he showed. He is the number one image of the word love. Jesus is. All the whole time he was here. Everything he went through. Prosecution. Spill. Fight. Everything he could think of. It was never a hateful thought in his head. Father, forgive them because they know not what they are doing. Some knew what they were doing because that's the hate that they have on the inside. But once you got Christ in your life, he's about love. Jesus is love. Love is our trademark. If you're a Christian, love is your trademark. It doesn't matter what life is. If you see somebody need help, it's your trademark. Get out. Because that's love. It's hard to walk away from a feeling, brother. It's falling down. If you walk away, you turn it over, you keep on walking. That's not love. Love is about helping. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. If you see someone, help them up. Show them that Jesus is love. Be that example for him. Love is full of mercy. Full of mercy. That's what love is all about. It's full of mercy. Mercy and grace. If I look at everything I've done in the course of my life, and he still loves me, what makes me can't love somebody else? After everything he has done for me, why can't I love somebody else? Because he loved me so much. If he didn't love me, I would have been standing up here today. But that's the love that he has, and I'm standing here today. It's for spreading love around. Some people keep things all bottled up on the inside. Why? Let the world know who Jesus is. Let the world know Jesus is love. Let the world know that Jesus cares about you. Some people think God don't even care about them because of the life they live. But it's up to tell me God do care for you. He do love you. That's what he's talking about. Love is the most important command. That's the number one command. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Love thy neighbor as thyself. You gotta love yourself. Some people don't love yourself. But you gotta first learn to love yourself to learn to love others. And the more you seek his face, the more you realize what love really is. Because he is love. The closer you get to him, the more you love. The closer you get to him, the more you oversee, the more you overlook things. Some people go and look out at the exterior. The exterior can look as good as you want it to be. But Lord, when you look at the inside of it, it's rotten, I don't know what. It's rotten to the core. But looks can be very deceiving. But it's up to us to look past that. Go to the internet. See what the internet looks like. We heal from the inside out. You got to realize how love changes. Love changes everything. Like I said, when Jesus walked into the room, he walked into the room with love. He walked into the room with joy. He didn't walk into the room doom and gloom. He walked into the room with love and joy and peace. That changed the mindset of everything. That's why I said when we walk into it, we change it all. We change all these things. Because we got the God living in us. But you got to understand that to be a friend, to share personal relationships, and make plans and purpose of other people. You got to understand what Jesus was all about. You know, to go from a servant to a friend. It's a huge, huge step. Because now you're getting closer to him. You get to know now what the Father's business is. Before you weren't at that point. With him laying down his life, we get to know the real deal. We don't have to go to a sacrificial lamb anymore. You don't have to go find these different things. Find a cure. You don't have to go find this anymore. That's why they just call him in. He's right there with you. You don't have to go on a hunting anymore. As soon as you call him, he's right there. He's never left. Well, let's turn our Bibles to Matthew 5:43. You have heard that it is said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemy. Pray for those who treat you badly. If you do this, you will be a child who are truly like your Father in heaven. He lets the sun shine for all people, whether it be good or bad. He sends rain for those who do right and those who do wrong. If you love only those who love you, why should you get the rewards for that? Even a tax collector do this. And if you are nice only to your friends, you are no better than anything else. Than anyone else. Even the people who don't know God are nice to their friends. For I am saying is that you must be perfect, just like your Father in heaven is perfect. You know, that's a very, 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 very powerful statement. You know, it's easy to love your friends, but it's even harder to love your enemies. You know, when you love your enemies, it's like putting heaping coals on his head. Because he don't understand everything I've done for you. You still love him. Like Christ said, he loves everybody. The good, bad, it doesn't matter who you are. He loves you. And he said he wants to do the same thing. Don't hate your enemy. Because he don't hate you. Why should you hate somebody and God loves you? That's not even balanced. In order to do this thing, you got to love unconditionally. It doesn't matter what people do, it doesn't matter what they say to you, but it's about the word love. You know, this is one big thing that he spent so much time on since he was on his earth. God was about that love from day one. From day one. From creation, he was about love. And that's what we got to understand. I know it's tough to love an enemy. I know it's tough to love somebody to get everything that they can think to do to you. But when you see his face, you look beyond what that person has done to you. You look at what God has done for you. So then you can better understand the love that God got for you that you can give someone else. That's why I said love is just not a four-letter word. Love has deep meaning to it. When you love just that much, you look upon your worst enemy and still love him. You know, life is one of those things that you can't take any day for granted. You know, you can hate somebody for a brief second, and you can be going the following second. You know, that's why I say that's why he preached about love. Don't get caught hating your neighbors. Don't get caught not showing your love. Because we know not the day, we know not the hour. That's why everything comes to love. It should be love. We are human. We're gonna make mistakes. Low radio, low radio, all pop your head up there now. But you gotta learn how to control it. The more you seek his face, the stronger you get. The more you get control of your own self. But the only way to get control of your own self is to seek his face. To get to know him more and more, to really get really intimate with him. The more intimate you get with God, the closer you get with him. When you want to say something, you can't say it. Because the love is in you. When you want to do wrong, you can't do wrong. Because he won't let you. The love will not let you do it. The minute you want to walk away from somebody, the more close you get to God, you can't walk away. He will tell you, stop right here. You got to jump. But that's the God that we serve. That's the God. That's how strong love is. Let's turn to John 21 and 15. When they finished eating, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of John, do you love me more than these? Yes, Lord, he said. Do you know that I love you? Jesus said, feed my lamb. Again, Jesus said to Simon, son of John, do you love me? He answered, yes, Lord, you know that I love you. Jesus said, take care of my sheep. The third time he said to him, Simon, son of John, do you love me? Peter was very hurt because Jesus asked him 3 times, do you love me? He said to the Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. Jesus said, feed my sheep. You know, when you go to feed the sheep, you run into a lot of different attitudes. You run into a lot of different people. But you got to look past that. And you got to look to the love of the Father. And you got to feed his people. You know, Peter denied Jesus 3 different times. So Jesus could just say, he asked him 3 different times, do you love me? And I know people get frustrated, but I'm sure in the back of his head, he thought back on what he did. You know what I mean? So 3 different times he denied Jesus when he crucified. He realized what he did. And the Lord wanted him to understand. Feed my sheep. You can't run this time. You can't deny me anymore. 3 times. And Peter said, you know all things. God knows us better than we know our own self. He knows what we're capable of doing. He knows what we're going to do before we can do it. That's why he asked Peter 3 separate times to let him understand the seriousness of feeding his sheep. The love you got to have to feed his sheep. And we got to understand how strong that love is. You got to ask yourself, do you really love him? Do you really love him? You can ask yourself that question. Every day, do I really love God? If I really love God, why am I doing this? Why do I have an attitude like this? Do I really love God? Because when you really love someone, attitude is out the window. When you really love God, there's no mood. No mood. That's just the love of the Father. But when you love looks past everything. It could be a dirty smell of somebody in the street. You go past the smell. Because love is a sweet aroma. When you walk, you bring sweetness. That's what love is. It's a sweet nectar. That's what love is. It's a sweet thing. It's a good taste and joy. You get past everything. And you wonder, people say, why do you love this person? What do you really see? They didn't see the person's heart. They didn't see the way the person looked. We can't no longer look at the beauty. We got to look at the heart. Because that's what the love is. The love is in the heart. People wonder why everybody is full of love. Because you feel the room, because you feel the room, full of love. You're not speaking, you're not talking hate, you're talking love. That's what love is all about. You know, when you give, he gave all he had. His only begotten son. His only begotten son. Just so we don't perish, just so we can have everlasting life. He loves us that much, he don't want to go anywhere. He wants to keep living. Eternal, forever. That's what he wants to live. That's love. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you come from. He still loves you. He still loves you. He don't turn his nose up at nobody. He don't look down at nobody. In spite of who you are. Even though you're not saved, he still loves you. That's the God that we serve. Even though you might go pray, he still loves you. That's the love. He don't say, why did you pray today? Go sit and time out. He's not a time out God. He's not that kind of God. He's the God that wants you right here, right now. There's no such thing as time out in Christ. But that's the love that he has. For each one of us. He loves you in your mess. That's love. When you can love somebody, you got to be able to love somebody for where they're at. Not for where you want to be. You got to love them for where you right there where you're at. Well, Christ loved us from right here where we're at. You can be in the gutter, it doesn't matter. You can have a healing arm, it doesn't matter. He still loves you from right there where you are. But they're starting to take love out the equation anymore. People dying every day thinking they're not being loved. People committing suicide because they're not being loved. But I'm here to tell you that God loves you in spite of who you are. God loves you in spite of what your mom is going through. God still loves you. No matter what you've done, God still loves you. Speculating caught in adultery. Caught in dead right. Everybody does go in the fence. The first thing they say, who without sin cast the first stone? He loves a this, he loves a this, that much. He didn't condemn him. He said, go and sin no more. That's love. He didn't throw it up in her face. Why did he do this? He didn't do that. Go and sin no more. That's the love. We gotta have the same exact love. The Father's love. Because we got the Father's heart. If you got the Father's heart, you got the Father's love. You can't have one without the other. Lord, I want your heart to skip the rest. Lord, I want the joy but skip the rest. I don't want to do the love thing anymore. The love thing is not good again. Let's do that post. I do the love thing tomorrow. No, love each and every day. Love your neighbor. Love your neighbor. That's what it's all about. It can be anybody. Nowadays, when you sit, you can be in an elevator, you can go any which way. They didn't know you in the room. And they don't look right at you and say 2 words. Not even a good moment, not even a hello. I like when people do it. I say something. Hey, I hate you every day. And they look at me, you crazy or what? But I keep going until they answer. Because now the word love is like so far, it doesn't go back so far, people don't care anymore. 2 people could be in the room and won't say 2 words. That's the way the world's coming to nowadays. Because the devil likes division. He don't like the word love. Because he know when you love somebody, you take care of them. He know when you love somebody, you keep them. He got to stay away. He know there's no room for him. But he know if he can just slide on in and make you think the other way just for a brief minute, he'll come. He rolled to and fro just waiting for that moment. He know could be sitting in a room. He boy not saying 2 words. I was in a meeting the other day, no everybody sitting there. Hey, what's going on? Today not that bad. You live it. There should be joy in the room. And they look at me, you must be crazy. I'm crazy for Jesus. It's the point of being crazy. It's the point of showing love. It's the point of coming away from what the world's going into. It's going into separation. That's what's going into. It's going into division. But we as Christians got to bring the word oneness and love back. We got to become one. The one has got to be stronger and stronger and stronger. But it's falling off. Couples starting to separate. When people used to get married, they stay married for life. Not enough for any good reason. I stopped my talk. I want a divorce. I don't like your attitude anymore. That's it. You keep the house too hot. You keep the house too cold. Now we're not compatible anymore. That's not love. Love is to look beyond a person's fault and look at their fault. That's what love is. That's what love is all about. It's not about criticism. It's not about criticism. Love changes all things. When you love somebody enough, and a person loves you enough, if the person knows something that really bothers you, they change it. Because that's love. In order to come to Christ, you got to change your life. You can't come to him and still live the exact same life. You can't praise you tonight and then party you tomorrow in the club tonight. He don't like lukewarm. Either you're hot or you're cold. It's your choice. And when you in it, everything comes with it. And that's love. That's the number one thing. That is the hardest thing for people to do. People are afraid to admit that. That's the hardest thing people do. The hardest thing. They say they can shoot the word love, but when something happens, they leave. So that means now they really don't mean that word love anymore. I thought you loved me. I holler at you when everything is over. And I talk to you about what just happened. When I slipped in a moment real quick. I had this moment of lapse that love just disappeared from. But love is with you always. Jesus is with you always. It doesn't matter what you go through. He's right there with you. And that's the love. That's the love the Father has for us. So let's turn to Luke 6:27. But to you who are listening, I say, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Blessed are those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. That's something that, and they harp on that a lot, all through the Bible. All through the Bible. It's not just in one thing. I'm looking at that, it was had a list of scriptures last night. Everything all about love. Love is oneness. Love is unity. Love is a whole lot of things that people don't even know what love really is. Love, he loves it. When you love, you got a choice. I can love you and I can hate you. The easiest thing is to love. People don't realize it's so easy to love somebody. It takes a lot of work to hate. A lot of work to hate. You can try your best to hate. You try to find everything about that person so you can keep hating them. Everything you can think of to make you think you start to love the person again. Yeah, that's why I hate you. Just because the way you talk to me right now. But you find everything you can think of just to hate. It's so easy. Hey, I love you. Those were one of the hardest words I had to come up out of my mouth. All could love my family. But everybody, the same love to everybody, that's all one thing that to me is one thing that when you say it, you gotta mean what you say. And I'm one of them guys that when I say something, I mean what I say. I'm not because I love you, then I'm gonna run away from you tomorrow. When I love you for life. I love you to the time I got here on this earth. That's how I love. And it took me getting closer to God to really understand what that really means. You know, when you say you really love somebody, you love them from thick to thin. They can call you, it could be like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. When you love somebody that much, you will sacrifice all sleep. Just because that's the love that you have. It doesn't matter what it is. It's just enough. You look past that. See, we get hung up on self so much that we forget how to love other people. We love self so much, we forget how to love. You are not even in my class anymore. I don't have time for it. That's not enough. It doesn't matter where you at, it doesn't matter what your status is, but love is love. You got to love people. That's what love is. Love become oneness. And Jesus believed in oneness. I'm in the Father, and the Father is in me. That's oneness. Christ didn't have to separate. He said, I'm in the Father, and the Father is in me. He thought he was crazy. He said, oh, you God now? He just said, we all one. And that's what it's all about. We're all one. When you accept him as your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, no, you're one. You're one with the Father. He's in you, and you in him. But that's what it's all about. But you have to understand this thing. Some people don't really understand it. And when you got it deep bedded on the inside of you, it's good to become the hate thing. It don't work. You can try your best to hate you. And you find yourself, I still love you anyway. You look at yourself, I can't stand you. That's what they used to say back in the day. I can't stand you. Get up, I can't stand you. You know I love you. I'm just saying. But that's what people used to say. They say it in a joking manner, but they know deep down inside, they don't love them. I can't stand the way you treat me, but I still love you. You know, sometimes people think about certain things and love overcomes all anger. If you really love somebody, it doesn't matter how angry you get. At the end of the day, it's still love. That's what your relationship is. If God is in a relationship, it doesn't matter what the relationship is. The core of the relationship is God, and God is love. If the core of your relationship is built on love, it will never fall apart. But if the core of your relationship was built on lust, or was built on money, it was built on status, it would never last. Because the minute one of them fall off, I'll holler at you later. But it doesn't matter. You're supposed to be able to speak with me no matter what. Sickness and health, it doesn't matter what happens. If you say before God, everybody, you love me, you have to deal with all of me. Not just the good stuff. The good, bad, and different. You have to deal with all. That's love. Some people want the good stuff. I ain't got time to talk. You go in your room. I'm going to my room. I ain't got time to talk to you. We ain't talking about this anymore. But growing up, that's what old people used to do. They had their own, they never split, they had their own separate room. And then when all things get together, oh, you all right now? Oh, and it's still together. Is it a perfect relationship? No. But when God in the midst of it, I call it a work in progress. It gets better and better and better and better as it goes. But when you and God get together in that relationship, it only will get better. It can never get worse. But some people got a tendency don't want to put God in anything until trouble comes. That's what people want to put God in. But he loves us so much. He looked past that. And he's still right there with us. In spite of our denial. Everything Peter did to Jesus. Everything he did. He told him, feed my sheep. He asked him 3 times. Just to let him know. You know what you did. To bring it back. I'm still going to be here with you in spirit. But that's one of the things that we got to understand, that no matter what happens, no matter what you go through, He's still going to be right there with you. That's the Father that I say. That's the God that I know. You know, and we all serve the same God. So the same love I have, you got the exact same love. The same joy I got, you got the exact same joy. The same peace, everything. God leveled the playing field. There's no favoritism. None. It's all up to us. It's all up to you. What you want to do with your life. How you want to live your life. It's all up to you. But I choose God. Because there's a love. There's a joy. When you hate, you age even faster. When you hate, you don't live as long because you're bitter. But when you love, there is joy. And when there's joy, there's excitement. There's adrenaline going with the joy. There's no adrenaline in hate. You mean mugging now. You fight yourself just to mean mug somebody. You know, when you're being a person's present and then you still don't like it. That's a hurtful place to be in. That's not what God wants for us. That's not what He wants for us. He wants to become one and have joy in love. That's why that's one of the greatest commandments. Love. One of the greatest. Love. We got to really understand that. You know, I'm not sure what better way to put it, but the only thing I can tell you is Jesus is love. He's all about love. He preached love ever since He was here. It doesn't matter who you are. He loved. It doesn't matter the circumstances. He loves. It doesn't matter what you've done. He loves. It doesn't matter your ways. He loves. It doesn't matter your past. He loves. He loves you in the midst of it all. That's the love the Father has. It's not a one-day thing. He loves you every day. The same way He can love every day, we need to love every day. Don't make it just a one-day thing. Valentine's, yes, it's a good time. But it's every day. Valentine's in my house. I can't say nobody else. But in my house, every day is Valentine's Day. I don't have to show my wife something to show that I love her. I don't have to do that. She knows her. She knows I love her. The same way the Father knows I love Him. My wife knows I love her. Because we both serve the same Father. And we both have the exact same love. I don't need one day to show that love. Show it every day. But people get caught up in that one day. You spend all this money for one day. And then after the one day, they go right back to the same old thing. Valentine's Day Monday, joy, happiness on Monday, then I'm wild, everything on Monday. Tuesday, right? You better get up my face. Tuesday, right back to the same. I want the candy. I don't care what you did. You know what you did last week? This was coming from last week. The candy should have covered all that. What about the roses? All this money. You know what I mean? But it don't both ways. It's not just one, it's one and it's the one and. That's why I said people get caught up in one, but if they do 360, you never apply. You show extra gratitude on that day. But every day should always be the same. It should be getting greater and greater and greater. That's what love is. It's not a one-day show. It's an everyday show. It's easy to do something for one day. It's easy to pretend, as I call it. Like I always say, I always had this thing. Whenever I meet somebody, you can clean it. Old people always used to say, I don't tell me, but it's a new room sweep clean for a little while. And after a while, they start leaving little rice crumbs in the corner because it's not new anymore. So when they love, they show their love for a little while. And after a while, if it's not in you can't keep it up. But if love's really in you can keep it up. And if it's not in you, what happened to you? Is the light switch turned off? This not the person I met. You love, you should call, you should do all this. Where the person at? It's gone now. Because that wasn't the true person. That was a false, what was that? That was a false, he falsified who he really was. Instead of coming out the gate, this is who I am. Love me or leave me. Because Christ loved me. So that means you have to do the same. And that's just one of them things. Love me or leave me. This is naked. This is who I am. So people can't, they got this image that they want to portray of let me be this way so I can at least get in the door. And they figure if I can get in the door now, that means then I can get relaxed. And now I got him, I got the nose wide open, I got him, I want him. Now I can just ease back, and now I can be who I used to be. That's not love. Love is about being who you are from the gate. You don't have to put on the love. You don't have to put on the love God. God didn't put on the love you. He is who he is. And he accepts us for who we are. It doesn't matter what our hair could be happy, it cannot be made up, it could be dressed a certain way, but he still loves us. In our rag, he still loves us. Loving the world is the exact same way. We got to put on all these different things. We got to look a certain way in order for someone to love you. If you got to do all that, then that's not love that you're in. That's a pretend love. That's a make-believe love. That's a temporary love. That's not a permanent love. A permanent love is where you can be who you are. You can laugh, you can joke, you can do all these different things. And they're right there with you. That's love. That's the love that the Father wants to have. That's the love that he wants to portray to other people. Not a temporary make-believe love. A temporary make-believe love doesn't change anything. Because that's not who you are. 6 months from now, you're right back to the same person. That's why most relationships do not last. Because they go in pretending. They go in with a makeup that's not who they are. They got a line of stories. A line of make-believe instead of being real. When you come to God, you're being real. God accept me for who I am. God forgive me because I'm a sinner. You tell God, no, I'm ready for you. In order to get in relationship, you got to be ready to get in one. You got to be willing to do whatever it takes. You got to say love unconditionally. You can't love somebody with a limit. Like a credit card. You got this limit, that's it. When you get past that limit, you out. Love is not like that. Love is about giving you all with no limit, with no limitations. You in one, you got to do 100. I'm in 100. I guess. You're in 100, but that's how you got to be. That's what a relationship is all about. Being completely committed to it. Like he said, I'm committed to you. When you get in something, you surrender everything you got. Withholding up one thing. That's love. It's about surrender. You got to ask yourself when you get into a relationship, are you ready to surrender everything you got? Because in order to become one, you have to be able to surrender everything you got. You can't just hold, you can't just do 75% and keep the other quarter in the corner. So whenever you want the other quarter, you can put another quarter back up. That's not a relationship. That's how a relationship is. Because you hold it a little bit back. Don't hold nothing back. Go in and think all the way. I only do one thing in all of them. If I can't have the best, I don't want nothing else. My wife. If I can't have exactly what I don't want anything else. Because I know what God desired for me to have. He desired for me to have the best. Not second best. He desired for me to have the best. Because I am a king's kid. I got a Father love me no matter what. That's the Father. In spite of my mistakes, he still loves me. In spite of my ways, he still loves me. In spite of the way I may act sometimes, he still loves me. Because everything changed when Jesus walked into it. When Jesus walked into your life, nothing never stayed the same. It's always going to be changed when he walked into your life. But that's the God that we serve. He will never leave you, nor forsake you. Because he's in it to win. Somebody got in it to win, the minute the strong gets strong. I got one about it here. When you get yourself together. Hit the laundry tomorrow. There we go. Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. Hey, I really do love you. You hear that big coming in you. Hey, I'm really sorry. Don't pay attention to other people. Don't worry about what they say. I was in my feelings, and then I didn't realize what had happened. But now, I'm really seeing. They ain't coming at me because of what was going on. They come at me because of the big hit. That big money you just got. But we got to get past it. It's not about the heart. It's about the heart. When you talk to somebody, talk to their heart. See what their heart's like. If you always want to look and see what a person really is, I used to have all these little tricks. I said, I'm looking at the car, clean this on the heat, and you pop the truck, and the truck is a mess. So what they normally do is clean the car real quick and throw it in the trunk. So it's just one of them things. I used to have a lot of different cliches I used to look for, and this, that, and other things. And if I know the only thing I do is look to the Father and say, Father, I want this. And He will give you your heart desire. And He gave me my heart desire. I had to go look in the trunk. I didn't do anything. I had to peek in the closet, see whether everything is dressed in the closet. Space, in between, space is certain way. I had to do all of it. Because God gave me my heart desire. Anybody know God right now, and God knows who you deserve in your life. And if you ask and you believe sincerely, He will give that to you. But will God will do that? He will get you ready. Because He got me ready for years. Because He knew I wasn't ready. So before He gives me something good and pure, He has to make sure that I can receive that. Because now He's not going to let me take His child and corrupt. He's going to make sure I'm at that spot that I can receive. In order to get something, you got to be at a certain place in your life with God so you can receive it. You got to believe it. And when you believe something, He'll give you whatever you believe. Try something. I can guarantee it's going to work. But that's including the word for today. Lord, I thank you for this word. Let it be a seed in people's lives. Let them take the word love and let them go forth and spread it throughout this world. Let them know that love will look past every fault. And in Jesus' name we pray. It's offering time now. I always keep my little when it comes to Cashapp, first. But those who need an envelope, God will give you an envelope. Those who need a pen, I will also give you a pen. You can either give it to the left or the right, whichever is convenient. But giving is always a thing that people seem to shy away from. But giving is something that should have been commanded by itself. When you give, that means you got to love to give. When you give, it's not being selfish. When you don't give, you're being selfish. You're not giving what God has given you. That's what giving is all about. When you give again, it's from the heart. But those who want to use Cashapp, $ Kingdom Way Church. I'll get ready to mess that up. I have to catch myself. I get ready to say Kingdom Way. I had to look at the word again. Hold on. But those who want to give Cashapp is Kingdom Way Church. $ Kingdom Way Church. But it'll be in the Bible that way in case I was make it clear you would actually see it. But giving has always been a thing. That people don't like doing it anymore. I love giving because giving has always been. I was raised up with we always give. Because giving is a sense of giving to me is joy. Because now I'm giving back to what God gives me. So I'm opening room now so He can give me more. Some people when you get a little bit, they keep the pocket like a vault. They keep it all shut down with a special combination. And God help you get that money. And now you don't want to give anything back. And then when the money disappears, then you actually look back up. But it's more than just looking back up. When you give from the heart. It doesn't matter what it is you give. It could be 2 cups, it could be 1 cup of corn. At least you're giving, Lord, I appreciate you. You know, they got these new age things nowadays. You just punch a button and you say give money. You know, but me, I'm old school. I like to I like to put it, I call it, get personal with it. When you, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking all these other stuff. But when you actually put money in your hand, you make it personal. And you feel everything, it's a personal. When you do cash, it's like, yeah, it's gone. It's an atmosphere, how do anymore. It scares me sometimes. I know when my money gets caught up in it, thinking I get my money back. You know what I mean? But I know when I do it naturally, it's a natural thing. That's it. But you know, I'm trying to get into this new age way of giving. I do cash app every night. You know, and I was doing cash app the other day, and I didn't know what was going on. I was trying to call the truth. Hey, what's going on? But he and my tent was confused. You know, he said, I don't want to send the money. You got to send me $5. Right now, you send your rent, and your rent is on your space somewhere. You're going to pay your rent again. So it's easy just to just figure this thing out another way. But that concludes the offering. I was getting ready to go preach on that one. About cash app and everything. But let's bow our head and pray. Lord, I thank you for the offering received today. May it multiply, may it upbuild your kingdom, so other people can be reached and other people can be taught. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And now it's the offering. Testimony.